Guess what? I've been shopping. AliExpress TPU tubes. There's quite a few different ones. I bought them all so you don't have to. The first one we're going to look at is Think Rider. This is the tube I used in the other video about TPU tubes. So it comes in three different valve lengths, 45, 65, 85. Not very clearly marked, but it is a 45 on this one. It's claimed weight of 28 grams. Let's have a look. Actual weight 24 grams. So looking at the valve, this is not a replaceable core. So just bear that in mind, that is not removable. So a weak point on the TPU tube seems to be this area around the base of the valve. There is some reinforcement here, but not as much as you'll see on some of the other tubes we've got here. Next is two from Cyclamia. This is a pretty popular brand for these. These both claim to be 30 grams, but they are different tubes, so we'll look at them both. So in the first one, obviously your tube, there's a sticker to go around the base of the valve on the rim. There's a couple of patches in here, some alcohol wipes for the patches, and some instructions. Claimed weight 30 grams, actual weight exactly 30 grams. Valve core is actually removable on this one. Just a standard Presta valve. So be careful when you screw it in, otherwise you're going to split it like this. Probably a bit too tight. Again, there's a good level of reinforcement around this one, probably a slightly bigger area than the Think Rider. Feels a little bit thicker, same sort of level of stretch there. Same contents on the other Cyclame, so you've got your wipes, your patches and your sticker. The tube is a completely different colour and the valve looks significantly more premium than the other one. Again, this valve core does remove. Goes back in, no problem on this one. Metal valve with some, it feels anodized, I'm not sure if that's plastic, no this is plastic. It's a metal top section with a plastic bottom section. Again, a smaller area of reinforcement around here, but it does feel significantly thicker than the other areas, and similar sort of stretch level on this one. Next up is this Butyl. Nothing in the box apart from the tube itself on this one. There's no actual claimed weight on this one, so let's see what we have. 57 grams, so it does feel a lot thicker than the other ones as well, so that's almost double the weight of some of them. So there are flats on the valve core, and there's also some flats machined into the stem as well, so it's a metal stem. It does feel good quality. Let's take this core out. That comes out much easier than the other one, so it feels like a normal inner tube removal. Goes back in nicely as well. That's much easier than the other ones. So the reinforcing area on this is quite a bit thicker. It feels rubbery, and this stepped piece here goes into the wheel itself, so that should give some really good protection. I'll say the valve core itself is significantly better quality than most. It's metal all the way through. Very nice. A little less stretchy than the other ones, and it does feel quite a bit thicker. This is a 35 to 43 tube, so the weight obviously will be more. Interesting one next. Brand is Offbondage. Some strange ideas. Alright, let's have a look what we got. So we have a sticker, quite a thick sticker for the base of the valve. No patches, nothing. And it's purple. This is an 80mm valve on this one, but it comes with a valve key on the end, so you would expect this to be removable. And yes, it is. Let's try that. That comes out no problem. Just a standard Presta valve again. Early impressions are favourable. So reinforcing area, fairly standard sort of size by the looks of it. It doesn't feel particularly thick though. I can feel this valve going all the way through by quite some distance, sort of 5mm or so through the tube. Stretch wise, pretty similar. It's making it look blue in this video, but it is a very, very purple. Claimed weight is 35 grams, 37, not a million miles off, 36 even. That's good. You get some bondage stickers for your wheels as well. Next up is this Geoid brand. It's a slightly wider one again, 23 to a 30C. Claimed weight 36 grams. So again, there's some instructions, a couple of patches, and a sticker for the base of the valve, which is a decent 3M sticker on there, so this bodes well. Nothing else in there. Valve length says 75L, so I'm guessing 75mm. It's around about 80 actually. We do have flats, but that's extremely tight. I think I'm just going to break this if I try and get that out. So we'll call this not removable. Reinforcing area is much thicker on this. It's sort of at least a millimetre thick, different material and very stiff. This feels pretty strong. Doesn't protrude at all through the back though. So early impressions of this is that's going to be much stronger than the others really. Nice. Material wise, again it's very similar stretch. Feels quite a bit thicker, this one does. So claimed weight 38 grams, actual weight comes in at 37 with this little piece of rubber on it. It probably weighs nothing. Yeah, nothing. Next up, X-Tiger. Super light, long lasting, 100% recyclable, 28 grams. The thing with AliExpress is they tend to cover up all the useful information. So this is a 18 to 23. There are 3 valve lengths on the box, but nothing's ticked. So in the box you've got some alcohol pads. I'm guessing there's some patches here. A couple of patches as well. There's no base for the valve though. The core has flats. Very tight again though. But it does come out. It goes back in, no problem. So reinforcing area on this one. Again, it's quite a thick rubber. And it has this stepped piece to go into the wheel itself. So this looks pretty reasonable. Doesn't protrude at all. 28 grams is claimed weight, actual weight, 28 grams. Stretchiness on this one, on par with the rest really. Last of these 2 from Ride Now, 36 gram, this one 19 grams. Have a look at the 19 first. Nice little box here, I'm guessing this is the puncture kit. Pretty well equipped. So yeah, some alcohol wipes. Some far better quality looking patches than the rest. They look nice. Another wipe. Sticker for the base of the valve. And some instructions. Do not inflate to more than 8 psi without an tyre installed. I think this is key to most TPU tubes really, so make sure you don't do that. Butyl tubes you can pump up to sort of quadruple the size, no problem, but on TPU don't do that. So this claims 19 grams, which is ridiculous. 21 grams, so it is extremely lightweight. It does feel very, very thin, obviously. The valve core has flats. Let's have a look. No, I'm not taking that out, that's going to break. It feels extremely thin compared to the other ones. Not a great deal of reinforcement around the base here, just this smaller piece here, but it's barely any thicker than the tube itself. Doesn't go through at all. Quite a bit stretchy than the other ones. It's very, 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 very thin. It's hard to portray on camera, but it's literally less than a shopping bag sort of thickness. I don't think you'd want to use these for anything more than a short sort of sprint with some support. I don't think I'd trust these for 100 miles, but you never know, they might be great. And the 36 gram version. A couple of patches stuck to here, which is interesting, and that's stuck onto the instructions. There's laminated paper, so it will come off. Different valve on this one. I'm not taking that out either. It does have flats, but again, that's not coming out. Reinforcing wise, similar to the other one. Not a great deal, doesn't protrude at all. Does feel obviously a lot thicker. It's a lot less stretchy as well, obviously. 36 grams claimed weight, actual weight, exactly 36 grams. Good. So I also picked up some puncture repair kits for TPUs. We have Offbondage, Cyclami, and the Ride Now kit. Although, as we've seen, most of these tubes come with patches themselves. So we'll have a look at these. Look at the first one, Ride Now. Comes with a bag of patches, I think it's 12 in there. With a rubber cement, which none of the other ones do. So instructions, maximum 8 psi. Wipe it with the alcohol wipe. Apply the adhesive. Put the patch on straight away, according to this, right now. Hold the patch on for 1 minute. And then after 30 minutes, your repair is complete. So very interesting. None of the other ones come with this adhesive, and none of the tubes that are supplied with patches come with an adhesive. So it'd be interesting to see if this does a better job than just the patch themselves that stick on. So rubber cement, I'm guessing for all rubber repairs, this must just be the same as normal Butyl tyre puncture repair kit rubber. So onto Cyclami's kit. No glue required, paste patch, maximum 8 psi again. Clean it with the alcohol wipe. Hold the patch on for a minute, done. Doesn't mention 30 minutes. There's a good selection of wipes here, 8 patches. Nothing else in the box, no cement. So these basically, according to that, you just wipe it and stick these on. Last one is Offbondage. Instructions, wipe the brake with, nice spelling, wipe the brake with alcohol. Tear off the protective film of the tyre patch, stick it at the brake and firmly compact the exhaust. No need to wait for direct inflation. 8 patches, 8 alcohol wipes. Nice little strong plastic bag for this. This could be interesting to get out. I'm not sure if this bag is supposed to be reusable, but I don't have the patience to try and find out. There we go. Individual patches here. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll inflate these and see what kind of shape they hold. So this is Think Rider at 5 psi. You can see it's already got a bit bad. The rest of the tube's okay. So let's let this down and see what happens. So it does return to pretty much its original shape. Maybe there's a bit of a hump here, but obviously within a tyre it's going to behave differently, but you do need to put some pressure in to be able to fit them. So potentially 5 psi is a bit too much for this one. So even at 2 psi now, it's maintaining this bulging shape, so it does feel under a lot of pressure as well. So I think 8 psi from that is a bit optimistic really. So that was sort of 4 or 5 psi on this one, and it's pretty much destroyed it. This is the cheapest tube though. So on the cyclone we have a maximum of 5 psi recommended. Let's try some pressure in this one. This one 5 psi, there's no deformation at all really. The only issue is this band here, whereas the tube is obviously joined at factory. A little bit of a restriction there, but I haven't seen any issues with that. The rest of the tube looks really good. So around the valve looks really good. I don't see any issues there. That looks like it's got some really good support there. So this is 5 psi. Just as a second cyclone that we looked at, let's put some pressure in this one. Again, no issues there. Valve area again looks really good on this. It's not been constructed straight. It will obviously go over, but puts a dent in the tube there. Probably not a massive issue realistically, but the rest of the tube is good. Now onto Offbondage. This looks good again. Good support area around this valve. Very long valve, gold plated, I'm sure. Real gold. So this looks okay. The rest of the tube is in really good shape as well. No obvious bulges or issues. Everything looks good. Might be a good option. So X-Tiger next. Let's put some air in this. Yeah, this looks really good around the valve again. No issues at all. I think this is the most rugged one at the moment that I've seen. Especially with this bit here that actually sits into the wheel, this rubber section here. That should give it some real good support. It's a machined metal valve as well, so the rest of the tube looks great. No issues there, nice tube. Again, the restriction there is the manufacturing where they're joining the tube. So the 36 gram ride now is next. Valve looks okay, but it is quite a bit smaller in the sort of support area. But at the moment it's holding a good shape, no issues. Quite nice quality this valve, but this area would potentially be of a concern compared to some of the other ones. This is the sort of heavier duty booster one. Again, this is for a wider tyre, but still 700C, but a lot wider. And this valve looks really good. Let's give this a try. Yeah, no issues there at all. Again, it's not quite straight, but not the end of the world. I definitely think this oval area looks more substantial than the smaller sort of round press ones. Again, it's slightly heavier, but it is a wider tube. It's for a sort of hybrid type tyre. I'm pretty sure they do them in smaller sizes there. To the Geoid next. Bit of a bulge appearing on this one around there, which is maybe not be an issue. I'll say when you inflate it in the tyre. This is the one with a much thicker rubber around the base of the valve itself. It's a lot thicker than the other ones. This is at least 1 millimetre and a different material, so it does look like that will give some very good protection from the rim hole. The rest of the tube looks okay. Last up is the 19 gram ride now. This looks okay. I've gone a bit easy on this because obviously it is a very thin tube, so you don't go crazy with it. But it's holding shape well. Again, there's no extra material around here other than sort of a bit of a moulding, but it looks okay. It's held its shape. Like I say, I'm not really sure what the intended purpose for these would be because they're so lightweight. 19 grams, maybe for a time trial or something like that, but where every gram counts. What I'll do now is I'll fit them into a tyre and a wheel and just see if there are any obvious issues and see how these valves fit into the wheel itself. Brand new wheel, brand new rim tape. This is a Z-toe again from AliExpress. Okay, so let's try the Think Rider. No issues, let's get some air in it. So that's 70 psi in that one, no problem. This is the one that had the bulges around the valve hole, but it's, I'll say once it's in a tyre it's fine. 70 psi in the Think Rider. Let's see what happens if you hit a drawing pin. I'm not going to do this to all the tubes, but just for science sake. So that's 70 psi, drawing pin straight through. The TPUs allegedly have better puncture resistance, so this has not gone down yet. And I can't hear a puncture. It'll be a different story when we take this out there. Right, that's definitely punctured, but it's not catastrophic. So there's the hole. I say it's no different to a normal tube. The hole is very small, so it seems to be, it's not splitting catastrophically or anything like that. It's just a puncture. So let's repair this. So with the cyclone kit, all we're doing is wiping this. Try and do it before you've still got some shape left in the tube. And then we just put one of these patches on, hold it in place for a minute, just let that alcohol dry. And that's patched. I'm just going to hold that on there for a minute. So that's the patch on there. I'll leave that overnight, make sure it still holds air. Pretty straightforward. Offbondage. Where did they get these names from, honestly? There we go. You put that in, always push your tube in first to get this, to allow this part of the tyre to seat properly. 70 in there, no problem at all again. That's good. Next up, the Geoid. I'm quite impressed with this tube. I do like the reinforcing area. See how it goes. That's in. Again, just push that valve into this tyre conceit there. You saw that just move. Pump it up. No issues at 70 on that one either, obviously. So I think I'm going to burst this one as well to see how well it repairs, just as a random. 70 psi again, don't forget. Let's go. Again, not catastrophic. I can't hear that leaking. Obviously, we'll want to take that out. It's pretty promising so far. So the hole is there. You can see that. There's a very small hole. It's not ruptured. I'll just put a patch over. There's the patch. I've just pressed that on. Sorry, camera's off. Let's hold this on for a minute. And that's that patched. I'm really impressed about how easy these are to repair. Really impressed. Much easier than a normal tube, and the holes seem to be smaller than a normal tube as well. More controllable. Leave this overnight again, see what happens. Another cyclame. This is 18 to 32. No issue, 70 psi. I'm finding these easier to fit than the normal Butyl inner tube. I think they're a bit more slick, hold the shape better, and just easy to fit really. Win-win. So on the next day now, this is the Geoid. I've left it in a tyre overnight after its puncture repair. As you can see, it's held perfect pressure, so that was such an easy repair. Really impressed. And the Think Rider that I also repaired has held its shape as well, even outside of a tyre. It's still got its bulge, but the puncture repair is held good. There's the repair there. This is the Geoid patch. Now I've just removed it again from the tyre. Next up for fitting is X-Tiger. Again, another good reinforcing area on this tube. No issues there, 70 psi. Onto the ride now. This is the heavier one. Then we'll go for the super lightweight. And you can't really do that with a Butyl tube. It doesn't hold the shape anywhere near as well as this. So these are definitely easy to fit. All good on this one. 70 again, no problem. Solid valve. The valve on this seemed to be a lot more free flowing than the X-Tiger. Struggled to get that up and release the air on the X-Tiger, but this was super fast. Pedros are not unbreakable. This is probably only a month old. Another one broken. I think some colours are better than others. I don't know why. Who knows the best colour? Let me know. This is the 19 gram ride now. I'm not going to lie, this tube makes me a bit nervous. It's so thin. I think it'd be a brave person to use these as a daily. Let's see how they go there. Very gingerly pump this one up. $70. It seems okay. I wonder if I should puncture this one because it's so thin. See what happens. See if there's any more catastrophic than another one. Let's give it a go. Okay, 70 psi. Not catastrophic. Again, I can't even hear it leaking. I'm not going to lose any pressure. I can't hear anything coming out of there. Let's take it out. Must take it out next to my microphone. Yep, it's going down now. Again, it feels a very controlled puncture. I don't know why, but I was half expecting these TPUs just to explode when you puncture them, but they seem to be far more controlled than a normal Butyl tube, which is great. I mean, this would realistically take 5-10 minutes to go down completely at this rate. Again, it's a super small hole. I think you struggle to see that. Yeah. So in the Ride Now tube box, they give you these patches, so we're going to use this. Again, you just stick it on and press it on. It's so easy, honestly. And I've just seen for the Geoid overnight, it's held air pressure perfectly. So last up is the booster, which is a 35 to 43. So I've fitted a bigger tyre on. This is a 42 tyre. So this should be its maximum. Thought it only fair to give it a chance. It's in. It's in, no problem. I've only put 60 in this because obviously it's a much thicker, chunkier tyre, but it's no problem at all. Nice tyres. These up super cheap. Keep an eye out on the internet for tyres. They seem to go up and down like so much. Again, for not very much at all sometimes if you catch them right. These are nice, these pan racers. Just something to mention as well. This the Cyclami 30 gram. Excuse all the stickers. It's good old AliExpress. The Cyclami 30 gram is the only one that states for use with rim brakes and disc brakes. Quite possibly you could get away with most of them on rim brakes, but there seems to be a bit of a consensus out there that they're better on disc brakes because of the potential heat of braking may cause an issue. I think probably there's not much science behind that, but if you want to be on the safe side, this is the only one that specifies that. So I guess it's only fair we try a Butyl tube with this. Fair, even on Butyl, if you put, I mean, that's probably 5 psi. It does bulge a bit, but it will return to its original shape, unlike the TPU. You can see it's just a bit more, doesn't hold its shape quite so nicely. It doesn't look as good either in dusty black. Yeah, I mean, probably not a huge difference, but maybe it's perceived the TPU is a bit easier. 70 psi, obviously no issues for this. So let's burst this one. Again, that's holding air perfectly well, there's no leaks there. Going down. Really not a great deal of difference in that respect. So I'm going to try the Ride Now puncture repair kit. This is, like I said, it's the only one that comes with this cement, so it's a bit of an obscure one. So the instructions say put some air in it, obviously. Wipe it down with the alcohol wipe, put the rubber cement on, put the patch on right now. I'm guessing that means while the glue's still wet, which is a bit odd. Then hold it for 1 minute. I'll try it with it wet and I'll let it dry as well, but I'm not sure why this would need adhesive and the other ones just literally stick on. So there's not actually a puncture in this tube, but it's irrelevant really. Just want to see if it's going to stick. So I'm going to wipe it down there. Some rubber. This is just stupid. Normally need a thin coating of this, so just thin that out a bit. And then you put a patch on straight away. This is just, there's no way this is going to work. We'll hold that for 1 minute as instructed. Okay, 1 minute. Absolutely, that's hopeless. What is this? Okay, I'll try another bit and I'll let the glue dry first. Okay, that's kind of dry and tacky now. Hold it for a minute. Absolutely hopeless, doesn't stick at all. Wow, don't bother. So you can see I've put sort of 5-6 psi in these again, and some of these are struggling to hold the shape again. So this is the original one that I broke by sort of 8 psi. This has now got some bulges in it. I think that's the super light one. Even the Offbondage bulged, and the Cyclami 30 gram, I think, yeah, that's now got a bulge in it as well. So I mean, all you need to do when you're pumping these up is put enough in just to hold the shape so you can get it in the tyre. You really need sort of 2 or 3 psi, just enough to hold the shape. If you do this, like I say, it won't return to its original shape. It'll probably still fit, but see, this area is much thinner because it's stretched, so potentially it might be a weak point in the tube when you do fit it. So can't stress enough, just put just enough air in just to hold the shape of the tube before you fit it. So I hope you found that interesting. I know I certainly found it interesting filming it. It just took me 2 or 3 days and cost me a bit of money, so hey, all in the name of science. So my take-ins away from this really are TPUs. They're pretty impressive. The puncture resistance is on par with the Butyl tyre. They're much easier to repair, they're dead easy to fit, they're super lightweight. No real issues really. I think a lot of the issues people have been seeing is around the valve construction and the weak points around there. So I think I've picked up on those where you can see some manufacturers are really making a big difference on the sort of area for reinforcement. So that's pretty good. Obviously it's not going to be possible for me to put any sort of thousands of miles on each of these tubes. I just don't have the time, unfortunately. So what I suggest we do really is get together as a community, get some comments going down below, people's experiences of each tube, good or bad, and build a bit of a a knowledge base from those, really. I mean, there's so many different ones, but like I say, the basic science behind them all is obviously very similar. Different weights, plenty of different colours. They're very nice. I do like them. Yeah, so if we can get some comments going and people's feedback on different manufacturers. I think my favourite is probably the Geoid, really. So, no science behind that, but the valve construction seems very good. It punctured very controllably and repaired very easily overnight. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned. Any more stuff coming. I think that you guys are loving the service videos. Channel's growing very strong. I mean, if you've got this far, if you're not already subscribed, then please do me a favour. I've got to pay for these tubes somehow. So thanks very much. So just as a final note, these have been pumped up for probably, best part of 4 weeks now, just hanging on the peg. And you can see most of them still retain some air as well. Not sure about these three. They might have been punctured and not repaired. I can't remember now. It's been that long ago. But yeah, these are all holding pretty much exactly the 4 or 5 PSI that I put in them. So not too bad.